Grüezi! That means hello in Swiss German. Living here in Zurich. Today it is snowing. So yeah, I don't live in California anymore. So teaching a little bit of language, but what I want to teach you about today, or talk about or reflect on pieces of work that will help other creatives stay inspired, get motivated, also stretch themselves a little bit and challenge themselves to maybe try or think about things in a different light and gain some new insights. So the piece of work that I'll be talking about today is by the author Steven Pressfield. The book, The War of Art. If this could be summarized in one aphorism, I would use Know Thyself, which really captures the essence of what this book is all about. If you guys are ready, let's get into it. So I'd like to start out today by discussing the title of this book. This is the book in question right here. Actually, this book right here, for all of you designers out there, don't be off-put by the design of the book. The content is really quite interesting. You know, for people who are a bit sensitive to the aesthetics of a book, right off the bat, if you look at this title, it's just absolutely terrible. I mean, this word war is, the A and the W should be much closer together. They tried to save it by making this all capital and this lowercase, but actually there's a much better solution for designing or solving that problem, and it's called kerning. And then I don't even want to get into the centerline text. So the title of the book, The War of Art, is a reference to the masterwork by Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu was a 5th BC century Chinese military strategist, and he wrote this book called The Art of War, very popular in business circles. Business strategy and war apparently are very similar. I noticed a reference that at the end of chapter 3, of the Art of War, there's a paragraph that talks about knowledge. So, hold on, let me look it up. So yeah, chapter 3, article 18, Sun Tzu says, "Hence the saying, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle." Right? So some key words there: enemy, yourself. These are extremely important in Mr. Pressfield's work. So to me, that quote from Sun Tzu sets up this book, its structure, its message, what this book is all about. In Pressfield's work, he suggests actually that you yourself are the enemy. So the saying of knowing thyself is to know yourself and your enemy, because you are the enemy. The book is divided into 3 parts. The first part is all about the enemy, which is called resistance. So resistance is self-induced sabotage. It comes in the form of self-doubt. It comes in the form of procrastination. Pressfield even says that sex can be a form of resistance, because it's actually holding you back or distracting you from doing the type of creative work that you want to be doing or should be doing.
What you talking about?
Yeah. So essentially, anything holding you back or blocking you from achieving your creative goals is resistance. And the book is kind of structured in a series of like parables, things where he goes through and breaks down one after the other bit what resistance is. The second chapter in the book is how to defeat resistance, right? It's methods on fighting the fight, fighting the battle. Your weapons in this war or this battle are professionalism, dedication, determination, accountability, courage, work ethics, and habits. So showing up for work every day, being really dedicated and serious about the work. Getting there at 9 in the morning, sitting down, putting in the hours. You know, there's a lot of talk these days about design thinking. I'm excited about those kinds of things, and I think they're really valuable, but they're not the same as design doing. I mean, you really have to just show up and actually do the work and put in the time. And another point that he talks about is facing fear rather than overcoming fear. So, you know, if you think about like what it means to be courageous, that doesn't mean that you're fearless. Try to achieve a goal despite the fact that you're afraid of the obstacles that you might be facing. And so part 3 of the book is this esoteric thing that this was really a challenge for me. The title of that part is The Higher Realm. Yeah, he gets into like angels and different kinds of things. You know, some of the things he talks about is like muses from Greek mythology, and this is something that I've heard also from other creatives and other books that I've read. So I went to other references. The breakthrough that I had was on YouTube. I'm a huge fan of TED Talks, and I found a video, a TED Talk by the author Elizabeth Gilbert. Now, she wrote this wildly popular book called Eat, Love, Pray, or Eat, Pray, Love. I haven't read it, never planned to read it, but the talk that she gave, The Elusive Genius, it opened up the veil that was like kind of concealing the knowledge that I think Pressfield was trying to convey in his 3rd chapter. If you haven't seen that video and you've tried to read this book and struggled with chapter 3 as I did, check out that video. I'll put it in the links. Then you'll get some insights. At the 5-minute and 25-second mark of Elizabeth Gilbert's video, she talks about creating a construct or a model that protects her, gives her kind of anonymity in her creative process and in her work, relieves the pressure and the stresses that you put on yourself or society puts on you as a creative genius. So I just want to read a quote here from her talk at the 6-minute 9 mark. She says, ancient Greece and ancient Rome, people didn't have to believe that creativity came from human beings back then. So people believed that creativity was this divine attendant spirit that came to human beings from some distant, unknowable source and for distant, unknowable reasons. The Greeks famously called these divine attendants spirits of creativity daemons. Socrates famously believed that he had the daemon who spoke wisdom to him from afar. So Romans had the same idea, but they called these daemons a genius. Elizabeth Gilbert, for me, she broke down and opened up this idea in chapter 3 that in a way that I could really resonate with. Pressfield does end on a really positive note. He says, creative work is not a selfish act or a bid for attention on the part of the actor. It's a gift to the world and every being in it. Don't cheat us of your contribution. Give us what you got. So on that note, I'd like to end this review. Give the book a look through. I think it's definitely worth it. So until the next episode, thanks for checking it out. This is a new thing for me, so I'm trying to get the hang of it. If you have any tips or comments or suggestions that you want to leave for me, just drop it down below in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you next time.